Hey Sparkles, hope you are doing lovely. Hope you're having a lovely holiday. Hope you are enjoying the festive season if you do celebrate Christmas. But this isn't really a Christmas build, I'd say, but more of a wintry build because we are in Japan and I really wanted to build an onsen. I had a really clear idea in my mind of what I wanted it to look like. I kind of wanted it to be like a luxury onsen, so that is what it is tagged on in the gallery. I will show you that later, but this first part of the video is a little bit of a speed build, and so I hope you guys enjoy and I hope you like the way that it turned out. You can see I'm sort of starting with the structure and like with the windows and everything. I really wanted it to keep sort of traditional Japanese inspired. It's definitely Japanese inspired build, and I wanted the windows to be quite dark and like the wood tones to be quite dark with the build, and I popped in these archways as well. So first of all, I went in with this sort of darker wooden like wallpaper, and I was trying to figure out a way to fit in the hot springs as well. So my idea was to have like the two hot springs on either side, and I did change the shape and the size of the building as well a few times, and the sign disappeared and things like that. So here I am putting in some trees, and so we've got the main structure sort of down right now, but obviously it's winter, so the lovely maple tree wasn't really blooming. But here I was just making sure we had all the items we needed in the onsen. And you can see here is where I changed the name as well. I was putting in a few showers too, and I sort of replicated the structure on both of the sides, so it's kind of identical on both sides of the hot springs in the onsen. I also split this area off and added some stairs so you can get to the top of the stairs, and then this area actually turned out to be a changing room. I took a while deciding how I wanted to lay it out because I knew I wanted some bathrooms. I knew I wanted like two different types of changing rooms. I wanted to keep the lockers in there. So you can see I sort of went back and forth a few times. I knew the Sims wouldn't be able to fit doing the sinks side by side, so I changed them to sort of front facing sinks, and I couldn't put the curtains on the windows or anything. So that was a bit awkward. But I added a little archway over here, and I took a while deciding on like the different wallpapers I wanted to use as well, because I do really like the Japanese like wooden wallpapers, but then there was some like tile ones that you could use for the bathroom that I also really liked. So I ended up going for this tiled style for a few of the rooms. And then I also wanted like a little sink on the outside for in case they wanted like a glass of water or something. And so I put a little chair area where you could just like relax and chill out whilst you were like, if you came out of the hot springs and you just wanted to have some refreshments, I did that. And I added some towels and things for people on the side, and a little shelving unit. And then I did also replicate the same sort of thing on the other side of the onsen, but just changed up the format just a little bit to keep it interesting. And then this I wanted to use as the main reception area. So here I am just sort of setting up the main area where you would like come in to, first of all, you know, to the onsen. So I also then realised I had no lights on the outside of my build, so I changed it to nighttime mode and added a bunch of like little lamps. I loved these modern ones. I think they're like base game, so they were really handy to put all around. I literally used these all over the build, and I added a couple of posters in the doorway. Maybe they're advertising like local restaurants and things. And then I was like decorating the little desks at the reception. I actually changed them to a slightly darker wood tone. And then I had some ideas for the changing rooms and the bathrooms and things. So I carried on with those. And then I realized I could put the doors in a little bit of a different place and make sure that everybody could get to where they needed to. I added some robes on the walls and some little pictures as well, which I really liked. And it did take me a while to decide how I wanted some things to be for some of the areas, so I do come back to things sometimes, but I wanted to add some umbrellas and a little place to put your shoes in the doorway, and also I turned them round because I thought that would make more sense, and I added some, like, if people had like jackets or cardigans and places to keep their bits and bobs. And I added a rug for the reception to make it feel a little bit more cozy, and then I added some sort of shelving units as well to where they might keep the towels and things, you know. I was thinking about what they would do with the reception area. And then I had this big space upstairs where I really wanted to have sort of an open plan so you could like look down into the entryway, but I had a bit of trouble with this, to be honest, because I didn't want the stairs to glitch and delete, you know. I had a lot of things that kept going wrong basically. So I did actually change the layout a few times. I did also wanted the tatami mats to be on this this floor to have like a lighter feel than the ground floor, and a bit more of, I don't know, like a different style between each floor. I thought would be really interesting. There was this sign as well which I thought would be cool to have up that could be like the name of the onsen, like bathhouse. And I put some flowers there as well. And then this was a structure that I was going for to begin with. I thought it'd be cool to like look down on the ground floor through glass, but then I ended up changing this a lot actually. I came back later and changed this layout completely, so please bear with me. So here I am moving the stairs. I decided I could tuck them in these little awkward corners with the stairs, and then you'd have more of the room to look down on the view. So that's what I went for with the stairs, and I added a few more windows as well. I felt like we were lacking a few windows on this floor, and I also added a few sofas and wanted to decorate it to make it feel like a proper sort of spa feeling, you know, like a fancy spa. So I added like a few mirrors, a few plants in these sort of hallway sections. And then I wanted this area to be like a nice communal place where you could sit and relax after being in the bathhouse and maybe grab some snacks and refreshments. So I added a couple of paintings on either side, and then I also wanted to add these plants. I think they're from Eco Lifestyle, so I added sort of equal ones on either side, and I wanted to use these plants, but I actually ended up not using them, but using them upstairs instead. And I added some side tables, and for this section the lighting was glitching a little bit, so I just moved the lamps forward and then had a sort of square area where anybody could sort of sit and grab like a drink. I added these dolls as well, which are like the traditional Japanese dolls. So I added those on the table. They're supposed to be for good luck, which I thought was really sweet. And I added a few tables for other people to sit and get refreshments on. And then finally the top floor is where I put a snack machine downstairs in case you got peckish, but I thought the top floor would be like if you wanted like a hot meal. So I put a couple of the hot pot like tables out, and also like these snack machines, you can get hot food from them for your Sims. So I did that, and I put some fruit bowls out as well, and these little trays have hot chocolate on them, and these cupboards are like tea cabinets, so I popped those there as well, and I just added a couple of paintings. I wasn't sure whereabouts to put them on the wall, so I ended up changing my mind a few times. And also with these dividers, I thought it'd be cool to have like privacy when you are having a meal, but then I ended up changing how I laid it out as well. So that is pretty much how the layout turned out, and this is what it is called on the gallery. My gallery ID is JemmaPlaysthesims. I usually put it in the description box as well if you don't know how to spell it. But yeah, that's how the bathhouse turned out. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it makes you feel wintry and Christmassy if you celebrate Christmas. But I'm just gonna go through the screenshots now, and I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in another one real soon in 2026. Bye bye.